live with you on Facebook on Sunday night, Sunday the 23rd of September. In fact, maybe it's no, that's the time, so it'll be a little bit further on than that. Is it the 20? No, I can tell you the 25th of September, and I'm doing a live video here on Facebook just to catch up with a lot of you. So if you're able to pick this up and you're watching me, then what I think you should do is come on to the Facebook page. I've got it beside me here, and then I can respond to you. So tell everybody to come and join us here, Scottie McCLUE, live on the video. Gary Stevenson's watching. Hello, Gary. A very, very good evening to you. I think it's still good evening. Yes, what is the time? Let me just check here. It's 23:13. So there we are. Alex Robertson. Alex, you like the video. That's excellent. This is first class, because this is something that we might make a regular thing if you guys actually like it. So there we go. You're all watching. That's fantastic. Davy Purvis, Stephen Nunnally, Joe McGowan, John Gattins, Clive Hardesty, and Alex. Hi, Scottie. Hi, Alex. James Cottis is watching. Laurie LD Dev. Alex Robertson, James Cottis, yes, you're all there. That's fantastic. Legendary show. Thanks very much. It's very, very good of you to come on. And it's something, as I say, we'll maybe make regular, because there's so much happening. And the mainstream media doesn't seem to be too interested in doing phone-ins at the moment. One or two stations do, but they're very, very thin on the ground. So it's catching up with technology. Of course, we don't actually need the telephones, because I can come on and talk to all of you here live on Facebook. So I'm going to look, if you want to send me some little messages, I'll just refresh this. You'll see me looking up and flickering about. It's like the early days of television before we had auto cue, and that's tremendous stuff. There it goes. Lawrence is sending out a copy of the video to everybody. I'm delighted about that. That's very, very good of you. And Scottie McCLUE going live to the nation, of course. So I'll just click a little like on that. Matthew Ritchie likes the video. He's watching as well, of course. Hi, Matthew. Lovely to see you. You're asking me about what's happening with Go Radio. I don't know what's happening with Go Radio at the moment, so I won't comment on that. I haven't heard any more. Robbie Bain is telling 10 to tell 10 that Scottie McCLUE is with you live on Facebook. It's probably about our time. I wasn't sure if we'd actually have any of you here at all, but you seem to be, and that's marvellous. So where are the fingerless gloves, Robbie? I haven't got the mitts on tonight, because I thought I might have to be quite slick with the old fingers. Robert, G.J. Maguire, Matthew Cochrane there joining us. This is fantastic. Stephen Nunnally, nice to see you, buddy. Nice to hear from you, Stephen. I hope all's well down in the northwest of England there, so that's fantastic. And, of course, I'm used to doing radio, so I hope you're not getting too much of a shock when you're seeing my physog, my giant pus live on Facebook. But that's part of it. So there we are. Michael Campbell, he's enjoying the video as well, so that's rather good. And I've got here 32 seconds, so I'll go on and see what's what with that. Can you guys actually hear me live? Give us a few thumbs up and a few smiles if you can actually hear us live right now, because it's telling me there we've been broadcasting for 32 seconds. Wham, says Kenneth Patterson. Wham to you, Kenneth. James McGeer, nice to see Scottie aging well. One of the single mums have any mortgages now? Well, we do. We wonder about that as well. Nice to see you back on here, Scottie. Stevie McKenzie. And Carol Gilmer's watching. Hi, Carol. Graham McIntosh, brilliant man. Spent many a happy night listening to you. Barry Snedden, dinky do, Scottie. Dinky do to you, Barry, of course. Alan Michael Brockett's watching. Marvellous, Alan Michael Brockett. David Steele, hi, Scottie. Used to love listening to you and you, my lord. Let's get this show on the road, Scottie. This is amazing. Loud and proud from Stornoway. Well, marvellous. Well, Coashin, I say to you, Coashin. Elaine Geltzthorpe, yes, excellent. A fatty's not happy being a fatty, says Robbie. Of course they're not. Mind you, I'm not exactly looking too slender myself, but I hope you think I've worn reasonably well. And when are you back on air, says Stuart McLennan? Well, we don't know about this. There are some very, very big discussions going on. There are plans afoot. We need somebody with some serious dosh who can spread this across all the social media platforms. But what I'm actually loving about it is that with a click, we can all be together again, and that's obviously going to be a good thing. So I like that. Good to see you, man. Do more live stuff, please. And can you still hear me live? Are you still getting this live? Let's just check if you're getting it live. Yes, you seem to be getting this live. That's excellent there. And we'll share it. Shall we share it with everybody? So I've just clicked share now. I hope I haven't driven you all too much up the wall with all the social media. If you just stick with it, you get the odd person saying, oh, it's clogging up my inbox, all the responses to you, Scottie. Oh, diddums, diddums, diddums. You know, get yourself checked on, lovey, you know. I mean, for goodness sake, clogging up your inbox. Jim Fennis has reacted to the video. We'll hear what he's saying. Get a reaction from Jim there. Excellent. Anybody else that's watching, just let me know. Alan McDonald, Jim Patterson, Donna McGinn, Kelvin Malcolm McGregor. Now, there's a great man, Kelvin Malcolm McGregor. A huge Scottie McClue fan, and of course, Scottie McClue is a huge fan of his. He's a Kilmarnock supporter, I believe. Unless that's changed, you can tell us, Kevin, if that's actually changed. Keep your hand on your halfpenny, says Robbie. Absolutely, Robbie. Keep your hand on your halfpenny at all times. Advice to all the ladies watching, keep your hand on your halfpenny. Very, very important. And I had a guy tonight telling me about... oh, yes, you were funny a long time ago. Very good. I never actually said I was funny. I've never, ever tried to be funny. So if anybody finds me funny, then, you know, I make no apologies for that, but it's probably not necessarily intentioned. Scottie's an absolute legend, says Matthew Ritchie. Thanks for that, Matthew. Alan McDonald, hi, Scottie, Brill to see you. Felix Lynn, how marvellous. It sounds like a place, actually, Felix, but lovely to hear from you. Or Jim Patterson, Wally K. Wally, oh, you beautiful people coming out of the woodwork there. This has been a very smart idea. I just had a wee idea to do it. I thought I'll give it a try, see what's what, because there's so much happening. I mean, that Labour leadership contest, you know, and... when I saw the leadership leader contest, I saw that Jeremy Corbyn allegedly is not going to be doing a great deal for Scotland, so he's not going to give Scotland independence or further powers or anything like that. So I thought to myself, well, we're going to need a new, you know, we're going to need a new Labour leadership contest very, very soon, Jeremy, if you don't sort that out. But in actual fact, because, you know, Labour aren't really doing a lot in Scotland at the moment. They're not too hot in Scotland at the moment, bless them. As you know, I'm not really a political animal, but I do like to make the odd comment on politics. You know, I think that's important. Listen to you years ago. Good to have you back. Great seeing you again. Jonathan Darwin's watching. Bobby Gracie's watching. For goodness sake, you're brilliant. Best wishes, Alex. And we're on the march with Scottie's Army. We're on the march with Scottie's Army. That's the stuff. With technology as it is, you can set up your own radio show online. So there you are. That's Stuart McLennan telling me. Alan McDonald, mind you, Kezia Dugdale seems to have shot herself in the foot, allegedly. Not literally, of course, but with the old Labour leadership. The only thing is, I felt that Labour really, they started to die off. John Smith was the last great Labour leader. He was a wonderful man, John Smith. He was from Ardrishig, of course, the same place as my mother. So so that's a good one for him there. But he was an Ardrishig man. His father, a great school teacher, Archie Harry, the teacher in Talbot in Ardrishig. But John, when John died, that was kind of Labour were a bit up the chute, and then they all started the argy-bargy, and then we got New Labour. And on the 1st of May 1997, I had driven all the way up from Sheffield overnight doing a show on Hallam FM radio there, and I thought to myself, I got into my little croft in Edinburgh, just outside Edinburgh in East Lothian, and I thought, this is the end. This is the end of the Labour Party. That's kind of, the game's up. But of course we had Mr. Blair, and that went well. And then, you know, then we had all the argy-bargy and the falling out and what have you. But I think when they let down the people of Scotland and betrayed their roots, because, of course, I don't know if everybody knows this. I don't want to be particularly political, but I don't know if everybody knows this, but the SNP grew out of the Labour Party. And you couldn't get a card between them. You couldn't get a little sliver of cardboard between them for years, and they ended up thoroughly disliking each other. But I think they should get together now and let Scotland go. Scotland's been duped for 309 years. Let it go, and then the game's up and we'll get on with it. It's nothing to do with, it's purely to do with self-administration and to do with economics. It's nothing to do with politics, nothing to do with separatism, nothing to do with nationalism or any of that sort of setup. It's to do with economics and to do with playing the game fairly. So there we are. So that's all we're talking. That's all I'll say about that, of course, because as I say, I'm not really a political animal. I can move this about a tiny bit, by the way, so anything that's not suiting you, just shout out and we'll sort it. New job in the morning, Scottie. Good to hear your musings again. Best of luck from Michael Campbell. Stuart McLennan, the family of Smiths. Excellent. Dinky Doo to Mrs. Mac. Of course, Tony, I can say Dinky Doo to Mrs. Mac. Now, Tony, you're a great radio man, and I saw you one day. I hope you don't mind me saying this, wondering if you maybe should not pursue the radio. Never, ever, ever, ever give up. Look at your old chum Scottie sitting here, still having a go. You know, regardless of what people think, I've never been too bothered with that because the audience figures have always said otherwise. And as for the setup at Scott FM, I think we were causing too much trouble to the competition, to be quite honest, because you don't get rid of your striker just like that. So, but that's all a long time ago. But I do feel that you know, these stations, they traded on for huge values. John Smith died in 1994. Alex, you're quite right. Yes, thanks for that. Ian Garty's watching. Hello, Ian. Dinky Doo. And please pass on my fondest regards to your father. You'll know what I mean when I say, have they still got the claret Rolls Royces? So there you are. But great to hear you. Davy Lee's watching. If you see me looking down, I'm just reading your names here. Alan MacDonald. We're going to get a Hogmanay shindig this year. Scottie McClue, of course, has traditionally always delivered the Hogmanay bash, because once Andy Stewart died and the White Heather Club had done its stuff from, I think, how long did the White Heather Club do its stuff? Some huge number of years. Was it 1963 or 64 through till the 70s or 80s or something like that, the White Heather Club. And of course that was a network television program in the days when ITV took all its programs from all its different contractors, and that was BBC, the White Heather Club. Robert Wilson, the singer, Andy Stewart, and oh, that lovely tenor from Dundee, what was his name again? Tremendous. All that will come back to me. Graham Stewart's watching. Graham, lovely to see you doing so well on BBC television. I always knew you were a great man. You have a wonderful style with you, a great broadcasting voice, and a very sharp and clever mind. So my concern was that they weren't going to make the best of you, and you're on the road, my boy. So keep going, I say. Maybe you'll interview Scottie McClue one of these days. I've always thought that would be an absolute hoot, and let me get my tuppence worth in with all sorts of things. But lovely to see Graham Stewart. If you're watching BBC One Scotland, and you'll see Graham Stewart doing politics and presenting news in a marvellous broadcaster. So there we are. Great to see you, Scottie. Betty buys, says Carol Gilmer. Bye-bye, dear. You need to get your beauty sleep, I'm telling you. Boy, do you need your beauty sleep. And you're still awesome, says Colin Edwards. James Fitton's watching. Derek Brown, this is going up. There's millions of you on here. This is incredible. Always liked your radio show, Scottie. I like the way it went from funny to serious and then back again. Not many broadcasters can do that. Well, I say that we should be able to. I mean, I've been blessed. I've been blessed with a memory, and I've been blessed with an IQ of 163. So I think we can do all these things. You know, I had a guy on tonight talking about there's more to life, Scottie. The reason you're not on the radio is because you can't talk about single mothers and fatties. all your life. Newsflash, you actually can. But if you listen to the program, we don't do that all the time. That's not something we do. We talk about absolutely everything. We talk about stuff at the highest level. We talk about information, education, entertainment. And if we happen to have a laugh, for goodness sake, the one thing that we can do in this country is have a laugh. I am living proof of that, because you're all having a laugh at me now. That's why I gave up comedy, because everybody's just laughing at me all the time. And it wasn't fair. I was at Glasgow Central Station one night, and for no reason, I don't know why it happened, I burst into tears. And the transport policeman came up. He said, I could arrest you. I said, what for crying out loud? You know, that's the kind of thing. But I'm an emotional man. I was down at the petrol station the other night, and I just started filling up. And that happens. So there we are. Ron says fatties should pay double on the bus. I still think they should, actually. You know, I was looking at a big fat woman got on the bus the other day, and she nearly squeezed the life out of me. Two of us, I was pressed right up against the window, giving it this, you know. And I thought to myself, she should be paying double. PC is a load of bollocks, Scottie, says James. Well, James, I cannot disagree with that. I mean, I don't know who's brought all the PC in. We obviously have to be respectful of others, but we certainly shouldn't be having to watch every word that comes out of our gob just because, you know, somebody somewhere, America, the other side of the world, has said, oh, you can't say that. You can't say that. And of course you can say it, because I've just said it, you know, that's the whole thing. Single mothers, keep your hand in your halfpenny. Will Price says, Bobby Gracie, WikiLeaks has caused a bit of a dinky-do, Scottie McCLUE. Oh, Bobby, has it not just? Who's sending me all these hearts and kisses? Absolutely to yourselves. This is an incredible experience. I don't know what possessed me to do this, and you'll be sitting saying the same thing. I don't know what possessed him to do that, for goodness sake. He's never improved in the 30 years we've been watching him. And this always used to make me laugh, because, as I say, the audience figures just go up and up and up and up. And the opposition panic. They go, you think we'll need to chuck this guy? You know, this is getting just a wee bit on the hot side. So what? Do you know what I mean? Nobody's died. Now, also, you're still some buzz, Scottie. Thanks for that. Dinky-doo. Lovely to see you. And who else have we got? Jane. Hi, says Jane. Everybody seems to be joining us all the time. I haven't actually looked at my Facebook page, so let me just take a wee look to the side and see what... There's something saying we've been broadcasting for 42 seconds. Can you still see me? Are you watching your Facebook page, and can you still see me? Make a noise. Give it as a... or something like that. If you can actually see me, that would be great. Tony Mack, I was so inspired by your interview with Mr. Martin. Do you remember him? Oh, poor Mr. Martin. We thought he was going to actually pop his clogs live on the radio. And that would have been embarrassing. But we managed to get that all sorted out. But no, officialdom were sniffing around, saying, "What would you have done if that man had actually died?" Well, he shouldn't have been on. Scottie for president of the Scottish Slimmers, Single Mothers and Female Drivers Society. I thank you. I am, of course, winning the battle against anorexia myself. The doctor is very, very pleased with that. So there we are. I went to the doctors the other day. He said, you're a little bit on the heavy side. He said, if you like to pop on the scales, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to take £5 off for your clothes. I said, why is that, doctor? He said, well, that's all they're worth, Scottie. So there you are. I see you, Scottie, says Karen Mackay. Oh, not as good as I can see you. You're going to tidy that house, by the way. There's a wee bit of stewer fleeing about there. That's marvellous. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10, says James Kibble. And Bobby Gracie, the establishment are being rumbled tonight. They certainly are, Bobby. They certainly are. This is fantastic. You should get apart and Still Game, Scottie. That would be great. Well, I wondered, it was great that Still Game appeared just after I appeared, you know, so they obviously realised that good old Scottish boys in bonnets were great entertainment currency. So all the best to the Still Game guys, by the way. I hope that goes very, very well. So cheers to you lot. I hope to have raised a glass to you and the Klansmen or I'll maybe nip into Naveed's shop, or maybe get Isa to chummy me down the road. That would be rather good. So there we are. So if any of you are watching, dinky do to the Still Game crowd, I say. And if you ever have a wee walk-on part for Scottie McCLUE, I might just do that for you. So there you are. Dad's Claret cars are doing well. Thank you, Scottie. We'll need to get you down to meet him as a Dundonian. He will be dinky do. He'll take him a pay. I'll take your father doing a pay, and we can hear a bit of a laugh together, eh? And also, I want your bonnet, says Robbie. Robbie, that's a very, very swish bonnet. You don't get many of these to the pound. I can tell you, I got a beautiful, beautiful cashmere scarf by a gentleman I'd only met once, and he presented it to me, and it was from Johnston's of Elgin. So there we are. Oops, was that advertising? Johnston's of Elgin, a wonderful, wonderful old Scottish weaving firm up in Elgin there, and this gorgeous cashmere scarf. So if anybody's watching from Johnston's of Elgin, dinky do to you, and thanks very much for the scarf. That will keep old McCLUE very warm this winter. Also, let me tell you about the social media. Although I'm on Facebook, FB, dare I actually say to you, I'm also on Twitter. Oh, I've said it now, I've said it. I'm also on Twitter, so help yourself on there. I'm also on Google Plus. Somebody said to me, Google Plus, your figures will not be huge on that, Scottie. 250,000 people have had a wee look there. Another 250,000 at YouTube. Now, listen, guys, get yourselves onto YouTube. I'll post you the YouTube URL, and you'll find there's about 125 Scottie McCLUE audio videos there. I call them audio videos because they've got a picture of yours truly. Surprise, surprise, you know. It makes me laugh when people say to you, is that not kind of like a wee bit of self-publicity? Oh, we don't want that, do we? We don't want that. So there you are. I'd also like to appear on network television, national television. I think something very, very big is about to happen, folks. So you may well see old McCLUE appearing. But the shows I'd like to appear on, I'd like to be on the Jonathan Ross show. I think that would be quite funny because, you know, although he's a Londoner, you know, it still might be quite funny to laugh with Jonathan Ross. So so that's one that I'd quite like to appear on, and also maybe present a show. I've written a book, by the way. You'll get the first chapter, Deliver Us from Evil, and it's all about the army and priests and mystery and a thriller, bit of a thriller. Father McNally. So there you are. So if you want to tune into that, Father John McNally, get yourself onto YouTube and look for Scottie McCLUE's Nighttime Story. We'll be reading that, and I can give you that as well. Andy Pell's watching. Hi, Andy. Craig Wilson from Greenock. Hi from Greenock, Craig Wilson. Nostrum. Kelvin Malcolm McGregor, bedtime for me, Scottie, great to see you again. Don't be too hard on us Labour folk. Many of us are big fans of yours, and dinky do. No, I'm not being hard on the Labour folk, but I just feel it's kind of old hat now. And the thing about the Labour side, they should back independence. They could turn a disaster into an absolute success story overnight by saying we're backing independence. Where's your glasses, says Robbie. Wait a minute, Robbie, you're just the man. I don't have the wee gold ones, but what do you think of these? I think these are quite swish, actually, aren't they? So the Scottie McCLUE spectacles. So there you are, your spectacles. Oh, hang on, I can't see a thing. There we are. But I've got these. It's just because I'm only looking just a tiny bit in front of me. So that's not actually a problem. Hi from Maggie. What do you think about the taxi drivers? You will never ever see a poor taxi driver. Trust Scottie McCLUE on that one. We worked it out. Do you remember the taxi driver had told us that he was making, now what was it he was making us? He said he was working 24 hours a day. That was it, the usual patter, usual Scottish nonsense. And he said he was working 24 hours. And we worked it out. We worked out that he made £350,000 a year, a wee bit off for his diesel and for his radio. So there you are, a loved one. The guy from, oh, I loved the way you did the guy from Law Village on YouTube. That was funny, says Denise Carroll. Denise, darling, there's stacks of that. SNP all the way, says Margaret. Well, as I say, I'm not a political animal, so I'm not particularly any party. There you are. Who else have we got? Do you like cloth dumpling, Scottie? Says Scott J-Lo. I think you mean a clooty dumpling. There you are, boiled up in an old clute. And that's always good. We'd love to see you get tore into the sorry excuses for politicians Scotland's lumbered with today. Well, I put a wee Twitter poll out yesterday. Should I stand as a politician? Would I make a good leader, deputy leader? Would I make a backbencher? That sort of stuff. That my only worry about politics is a lot of people go into politics with wonderful ideas that they're going to sort the world out, and the first thing they get told to do is shut their gob. The leader gets hold of them, the whips get a hold of them, they say, "No, not a word from you, okay? You'll get to ask a question." And then that's your whack. So sit at the back, shut up, and don't say anything other than, "Somebody shut the window, please." So that sort of thing. You're stap it foo on here, Scottie. We're absolutely stap it foo. Will Price, do you always wear a bonnet in the house? Usually, it's a wee bit chilly in here, a wee bit parky, a wee bit parky. And do you remember parky? Do you remember parking? Now, I've worked in Yorkshire a lot in my life, and they love the parking, you know, a bit of parking, Scottie. And say curly whirly in your brilliant accent, Scottie. Curly whirly. Advertising again. I think lorry drivers work harder than taxi drivers and earn a lot less, says 20. My dad is a lorry driver. I'd like to see the lorries off the road altogether, of course. I think that would be quite good. Get the lorries off the road, get it onto the canals, the Canning Canal. But yes, nippy, says Ian. Gertie, marvellous nippy, Phineas saying there, Ian. And is that you in the picture behind you? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I think it is me in the picture behind. Is that right? I'll just check. Yes, that's me. And in fact, if we turn over a bit, we'll see if we can get. There's another one for you. Yes. Oh, yes, it's all there. All the luxuries here, you know. Not a problem. What else are we getting? I did karaoke with you when you were on the radio, and leave it to Claybank to sing a song. I will have you know I am a black belt in karaoke. So there you are. That's one of my martial arts, one of my 5 a day. Greetings from Vancouver in Canada, says Richard Burnett from Canada. Richard, it's great to have you, and thanks very much for tuning in to the Scottie McCLUE show. How fantastic. So now the only thing is, do we make this a regular thing from time to time, folks? I'm going to push off and let you get on because you'll have had enough of me, but do we make this a regular thing? Is this something that you would like to see? Hi, Scottie. I remember you in Bury. You said you wouldn't like to give me a broken wage packet. I would not, Sally. Sally Baboot there. Charlie Andrews, you must be loaded, Scottie, with all these gold picture frames in the background. So there we are. No, all is not what it seems. A wee touch of the gold paint out the modelling shop. Donna McGinn, yes, you're cooler than Arthur Fons Arelli. Thank you very much, Matthew Ritchie. Charlie Andrews, yes to watch. Ali, can somebody write, yes, I can hear you? Paula Colville, I can see you. Gosh, you know, I'm not used to the video aspect of it, guys. That's what's throwing me a wee bit. It should be a weekly thing. I'd be a regular watcher, says Richard Burnett. Regular, please, Scottie. Indeed we do. Definitely do it again, Scottie. Facebook Live on a Sunday night sounds good, says Ian. Yes, regular show, Scottie. When you're next on, Scottie, you're a fud. That's not very nice, Chris. For goodness sake, I could say a few things about you. I'll say that word backwards, and I'll say that you're duff. So there you go. And what else have we got? I love presenting on Celtic music, says Tony Mac. What's your favourite Scottish band? Oh, wow. lots of them. Duncan McCLUE's band, absolutely tremendous. Of course, the Proclaimers, and all the Celtic bands. Keeper Cayley, love Keeper Cayley, tremendous. Scottish Fiddle Orchestra, my father used to play with them, Scottish Fiddle Orchestra, and love their stuff as well. Yes, more of these videos. Single mothers, keep your hand on your halfpenny. Friday or Saturday, catch all the drunken roasters, says Michael Campbell. And what's with the heavy jersey? Put the heating on. Not yet. The heating goes on the 29th of November. That's when the heating goes on. And because I'll tell you, you know, the wife was just looking through the window one day at the very, very heavy snow, and all she could do was stare through the window, and I thought, if it gets any heavier, we'll have to let her in. So that was that. Get stuck into the single mums and the soup. Listen to All the Time, Scottie, when you were on the radio, says Margaret Bonner. Of course, guys, we've been on the radio for 25 years. I actually didn't finish radio till last November. So there you are, but different stations all throughout the UK. Definitely more live on Facebook, on the radio. Jimmy Shand or James Galway, says Will Price. Absolutely, Jimmy Shand, the master, of course. Eat your porridge, the heating's too early. And Kieran Fox is watching. Tremendous, Kieran. Lovely, lovely to hear you. Now, I don't know if I'm broadcasting just on one page. I have another Scottie McClue Facebook page. So I'm not sure which one we're actually broadcasting on. Any plans for radio in the future, says Christopher Anthony Smith. Yes, Chris, there's a lot of very big plans, because obviously the radio is better for you guys, because you don't have to look at my physog. So there we are. And David Gray Duggan, haggis or the Loch Ness Monster, he says. Haggis or the Loch Ness Monster. Right. I think we better push off there before all the batteries run out. It's been absolutely fabulous to be with you. Can somebody just let me know, are you watching live right now? Martin says, can we have a dinky-doo? Of course you can have a dinky-doo. And yes, definitely, says Margaret. So you're definitely watching now, Margaret. That is great. I'll push off. It's been lovely, lovely to be with you. Thanks very much, nation. And as we say in all the very best of circles, good night, God bless, dinky-doo, and tara, lads. And for all our Gaelic listeners, of course, Aichiva, Aichivalach, Maha.